What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Align in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the Enterprise D from Fanhome. And it has been a while since I've done some recording. Now, there's been a couple of episodes that have come out since April or so. All of those were basically recorded in April. It's one of those things where, like, the further I've gone down the path of being a YouTuber, especially a modeling YouTuber, I've gotten myself really wrapped up into a bunch of different builds. And one of the things that I've kind of come across is the realization that I can't break these episodes up into smaller pieces. As there are a lot of Partworks that I'm doing, there's going to be more coming as well. So, as I kind of sit down and think about how I'm going to be approaching builds going forward, I think for this model at the minimum, right now, I'm going to go ahead and complete each one of the packs per episode, as I do have the complete model now, and I've basically modded everything that I need to mod with the exception of like 5 panels as of recording. So basically, when I say modding, going through and doing the resin windows and painting the backs and light blocking and doing all the rest. So basically ready for the build. I've gotten everything together for this. And so the big thing for me is I want to be able to present this model and continue on with the build because I just got boxes of parts sitting around and I would like to get this model finished, because that's what we do is we don't let them become shelf queens, right? Huh. Okay, so on that front, what I'm going to be doing going forward for this build, like I said, at a minimum, I'm going to go ahead and cover one whole pack that we get, so one whole month's worth of parts, and I'm going to go ahead and not show all of my work, and it is a bit of the YouTuber curse. As much as I love to do that, I'm finding that showing all of the work forces me to break these down into 2 episodes. And to be honest with you, it gets difficult to be able to shoot and record 2 episodes. I'd rather just take a dedicated time and build this model because I really do love building this model. But to do it in small little bits is a little challenging. So there are going to be cuts. This is going to be a slightly different format, and it will likely evolve as we go forward, as I'm slowly starting to figure out what to do with this build. So here we are with pack number 20 and stages 75 through 78. Let's go ahead and get to building and start with 75 and show you a big piece of the engineering section that I've already modded up. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. All right, so here is stage 75. And going forward, you're going to see little pieces of tape sitting on some of these parts as I've been going through and as I'm modding them, putting them back into their stage packs. I am putting tape on them to go ahead and make sure that everything inside stays secure. So before we get the rest of this package opened up, let's go ahead and pull some tape. This is going to be super satisfying. And show you the part that I worked for about an hour and a half on last night. After I'd done the micro crystal clear windows for these. So I decided on the engineering section to just use the micro crystal clear as I did with the neck on the engineering section. It was a much easier process for me to do. I attempted to go ahead and do the UV resin here, and I did get 1 panel UV resin, and I'm just going to have to deal with it because I got it resin properly, but I was not able to replicate that again. So I went ahead and just used the microcrystal clear, and everything turned out great. And this is when I say that the resin failed. Kind of got down into some seams and went along and bled along there. It is what it is. Nothing I could do about it. And nothing I'm really going to do about it as well. It is totally fine. And then over here in the experiment with the beginning of it, I got a bunch of the microcrystal clear on the outside of the hull as well. So there's a little bit of fading from using the rubbing alcohol or the IPA to get it cleaned up. Look, this is the bottom. We're not going to really see it. It's totally fine. I don't really care. But overall, it did turn out really good. I went ahead and followed the window pattern over at myenterprised.com. And of course, this is how I build this model as I follow along with Todd's build. And I'm replicating a lot of his mods. So make sure to follow myenterprised.com as I do. Todd does a fantastic job of taking care of these builds. So for this, I followed the window pattern guide and used my turquoise and yellow Sharpie to kind of add a little bit of distinctive character to a couple of the windows and rooms and stuff like that. And then from behind, everything has been diffused and light blocked. So everything was painted black, of course. And then I went ahead and put aluminum tape over the top to completely light block it. I pretty much will stop using electrical tape on this model. I worry about its viability over time. So that is that bottom portion. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the pack open. And to basically explain what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be handling this is really what I'm going to do is I'm going to off camera a bunch of the assembly of the panels, because guess what, you guys? You have seen me assemble these panels now for over 2 years. And there's going to be really nothing different in the whole process. I will show you, however, the panels like this one that has been worked on and painted before we go ahead and work on them. But for like a panel like this one, I actually haven't seen it, used it, touched it, or done anything with it. We have our extra escape pod cover, and I'll explain what that is after the assembly. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get all of the parts here assembled. I'm going to get the escape pods put in. I'm going to get this part put in. I'm going to be showing you, like I did with the mod before, where I use a little bit of my Uhu to go ahead and light block along here. I'm basically going to get this thing entirely ready to go. And then when I come back, we're just going to basically assemble. So basically going forward, we're going to unpack the parts. We have escape pods. I'll show you what we have. We have FM, AM, and IM screws. And we have our panel that sits back behind the escape pods. And then we have our rim piece. I'm basically going to show the parts. You stay. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side like that. We're going to be using this later on. But I'm going to show you the parts, and then I'm going to assemble it and really just kind of show you the part where you stick it onto the hull. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these parts assembled, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and get it stuck on the hull. All right, so here's our part all put together. Oh, that took me, I don't know, probably about 7 or so minutes. Just go ahead and get all the escape pods properly assembled, and everything's all put in place. There we are. We got our little glue back behind here, and we're all ready to go. So now, one of my favorite parts, I'm going to go ahead and grab another little cup here. Go ahead and grab our FM screws out. Doing a lot of building on this model today, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave some cups with some specific screws. There we are, FMs. Set aside, and let's grab the saucer, something I haven't seen in a couple of months. All right, so here we are. Screws off to the side. There we are. And here's my little boo-boo from last time. It'll be fine. It'll get held down from the outer plate over here. It's going to be totally fine. But, yeah. That's all I got to say about that. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our hull panel lined up right below down here. And there we are. And grabbing a couple of our FM screws here into our 3-in-1 oil. Go ahead and get this cinched down. All the way tightened down. There we go. And then behind the escape pod cover here, right in front, I'm going to go ahead and put the other FM screw. And for this, we are not going to use the escape pod cover just yet, as I am going to set it aside, because just in case I need to separate any of these hull panels for whatever reason, I want to leave those screw covers exposed. So this, my friends, this little fancy escape pod cover is going to go ahead and go into my bin with all the other escape pod covers. Set that off to the side. And that is stage 75. Nice and easy. Everything's all put together. So let's go ahead and move on to 76 and take a look at our parts. All right, here's stage 76. We have a whole frame, some FM screws, a couple of LEDs, and it looks like a couple of clips for those LEDs. So let's go ahead and get everything open. All right, here is our whole frame. It's going to be going right over here. So let's set that right on top. Then all the rest of our parts. Got a couple of LED clips, a couple of LEDs, some windows that we're not going to use, and some BM screws. All right. So, for the sake of this episode, what we're going to be doing is very similar to the previous episodes where we take our LEDs and we string them along and we basically get them clipped into place using these two clips. Then, from there, we're going to go ahead and get this put down into place. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is get my LEDs attached to our posts here, and I'll be right back and we'll be ready to go ahead and get this assembled. All right, so we went ahead and got both of our LEDs affixed into place, one right up here, one right up here. Now, what we're going to do is, as before, very carefully come through here and line up all of our parts so we're not squishing any wires. Get this lined up. There we go. You'll feel a satisfying clip. Make sure nothing is being pinched. Excellent, excellent, good to go. We have our LED coming out from right there. Power mod out of the way here. Those two are ready to go. Excellent. And our formation light is going to be coming out right through here, through the right side. So I just want to make sure that we're good to go on that front and it's staying over on that side. Excellent. Then we're going to go ahead and start with some FM screws. So let's go ahead and get those out of their packaging. And we're going to go ahead and put those on the lower level right down below. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab one AM screw, and right down here at the bottom where you had to slide fit, so when you get these two whole frames together, you're going to slide fit this one into the other. You're going to go ahead and grab one AM screw, and we're going to go ahead and put a screw right down through that. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our BM screws, and we're going to go ahead and put 8 of them in place right up here. Okay, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and start routing our formation light underneath the skeleton here, the best of our ability, making sure it's sticking out far enough, just as so. Now what I'm going to use is a piece of Tamiya tape, and we're just going to go ahead and, I don't know, grab whatever. This is like the 6mm. And just like we did on the other side, and it seems like that one has kind of popped out. So now that I see that, I'm going to go ahead and do an X with tape over the top here, just to make sure. There we are. Then we're going to go ahead and grab the two that we wired up here in the very beginning of the stage. And then on PCB 3, which is right back here, we're going to go ahead and link them in right here and right here. And then, as always, let's go ahead and test our lights to make sure we're still good. Yep, everything still lights up. Oh, that's so cool. All right. So we are all set on that front. And I believe, my friends, that completes my portion of stage 76. Now, I am not going to be installing this into here, obviously, as I went ahead and took care of the microcrystal clear windows, but this would normally sit in right, oh, how does it fit in? Just like that, right here. And then you would secure it down. But that is not for us today. Let's go ahead and move on to stage 77 and get a little bit more of our build put together. All right, so here's stage 77. Let's go ahead and pull the tape on the stage there, or the part that I've already kind of messed with here. Got some screws in here. We got some CP and some AM screws. And then for this one, went ahead, took care of this one. Just 2 black windows with some light blocking back behind it, as you can see. Nice and easy. All right. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our parts out. Looks like we have the reflector for the... Ooh. When you have a really sharp blade, you can do those things. There we go. Get a lot of parts out. Excellent news. Everything's out of there. AM, CP, and BP looks like. So let's go ahead and grab a couple more of our cups. All right, so for this stage, we have a phaser strip. We have an LED, a couple windows we need to do nothing with. We have our covers for the back of our escape pods here. And then we have the reflector, which is we're going to go ahead and put over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this part assembled with all of our escape pods and all of the rest of the things put in place. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and move on to the rest of the stage. All right, so our whole panel section is put together. We're going to be assembling this in the next stage once we introduce this next panel here. So we're going to go ahead and set this off to the side. And what we're going to go ahead and do is bring back this battle section piece here. So that's going to be on this side. And how we're going to install this is going to be just like so. Okay. Now remember, there is no clear acrylic piece back behind there. So this part might be a little bit funny and we may have to do a little bit of work to go ahead and get our panels put in place. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get our 2 LEDs. So we're going to go ahead and just split this wire. And we're going to go ahead and fix one into place right down below here. Get it into its slot. And to do so, what I'm going to use is a little bit of clear tape to secure these in place. Because once again, without that acrylic piece to hold it in place can be a bit of a challenge. So kind of lightly get that over the top. Put the LED in and then secure it. Okay. Pretty simple application. Don't need to go too crazy. Same thing for the other side. So we're just going to go ahead and take the piece of tape, set it over the top of the slot. Then simply route it in. Okay, just like so. Now what we're going to do, go ahead and get this put back into place. Okay, nice and secure. And we're going to go ahead and secure this in place with 5 BP screws. All right, so our panel is put in place. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and move on to stage 78, and the last stage in this pack, and do a little bit more work on getting some panels installed. All right, so here's 78. As you can see here, let's go ahead and kind of like doing this. Pull the tape off the parts. We have our resin windows. 2 yellow windows done for effect. Of course, light blocked and diffused. Okay. Now we have some FM screws. Go ahead and get these out with the others. All right, so now let's go ahead and get the rest of our parts out. All right, we got a bunch of windows that we're not going to need to do anything with, so we're going to go ahead and set these off to the side along with all the other ones. We also have the matching acrylic window piece from stage 75. We're also going to be setting this off to the side as we're not going to be using that. And then we have 3 sets of LEDs, okay, and a couple of reflectors. I'm going to go ahead and follow the instructions for stage 77, or 78, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and get the reflectors installed on the back along with the LEDs. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and get our part installed. All right, so our whole panel is put together with the reflectors put in place and the LEDs. Now we're just going to go ahead and bend these at a 90 degree, just like so. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and grab our LED, and coming through the edge of the saucer here, or the whole frame, we're going to go ahead and route this down and through over this way. We're going to take one of the leads, and it's going to run under and come up through this side, while this side comes up through here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and plug it in right here into the first plug in the middle, or in the second, or the middle PCB. So we're going to go ahead and take that, gently route it through where all the other cables are going, and get it plugged in. Excellent. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take our first LED that we unplug, that's on this side here, and we're going to go ahead and run that down under this frame section right here and through. And we are going to plug it in right here. Then the next wire that was in on that panel, we're going to go ahead and run it directly underneath this side and through. And I'm going to grab my tweezers here. Pull it through where all the other wires are running. And we're going to plug that in right behind where we plug the other one in. Okay, now that's run. We still got these 2 LEDs here. Now what we're going to go ahead and do, pull back on those wires, and then what we're going to do is slide in and get that secured onto its 2 posts. You can see right there. Make sure everything's all flush and neat. There we go. Settled in there nicely. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 2 FM screws and secure them in place. Excellent. So now what we're going to do, get our wires routed back properly here. There. Here. Then using a little bit of tape, kind of like I did on the other side of the other one. I'm going to use the tape to secure the LED in place so that it doesn't move. There we go. There we go. Those LEDs routed down underneath the frame properly. There we go. Excellent. Now we're going to grab the panel that we created in the last section. And kind of like before, very difficult. But what we're going to do is we're going to slide this down and slide over simultaneously. Oh, my God. That takes some serious freaking effort to get that in. My goodness. Okay, so now, using one more FM screw. My goodness me. That took some brute force there. One more FM screw. We're going to go ahead and lock this in. I don't recommend to do what I just did. I just took a pretty big risk with the model there. Oof. All right. She is down, my goodness. Well, there it is. We've got the first part of the lighting for the inner part, or basically the first lighting for the engineering section outside of the neck. And got a couple hull panels and a frame section assembled today. So next time we come around to building the Enterprise D, we will be building pack number 21, and stages, I believe it's going to be 79, 80, 81, and 82. We're going to add a couple of more frames, and then we're going to start getting ready to do a custom mod, the next big mod in our series, and that's going to be the deflector, and that's going to be coming up here in the coming weeks. So that's what I got for you guys today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me, watching me build a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. You guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And just remember to always live long, prosper,